Agnes Moorehead in Johnny Belinda, Warner Brothers. Gene Simmons in Hamlet. J. Arthur ranked Two Cities Film, Universal International, British. Claire Trevor in Key Largo. The winner, ladies and gents, the winner is Claire Trevor. In 1987, a mysterious letter was found in Claire Trevor's dressing room. Inside have been secrets and techniques about Hollywood's darkest days, violent fights with Humphrey Bogart, an affair that led to tragedy, and a stunning feud that nearly destroyed her career. Today, we are ultimately revealing what the queen of film noir turned into hiding, and the devastating truth that made her stroll far away from all of it. Claire Trevor, become born Claire Wemlinger on March 8, 1910. Even though a few facts propose it may have been 1909, she turned into the only baby of Noel Wemlinger and Benjamin Edith Morrison. Her father became a French immigrant who worked as a service provider, tailor on Fifth Avenue. Her mother became Irish, born in Belfast in 1877. And later skilled as a dressmaker. She married Noel in 1902, and 8 years later, they welcomed Claire into the arena. Growing up in Brooklyn's Bensonhurst community, Trevor becomes surrounded by awesome cultural influences. Her father added French refinement at the same time as her mother had a pointy Irish wit. These affects formed her character and later helped her bring depth to her performing. She confirmed an early hobby within the arts and loved appearing in college and church plays. But before everything, she desired to be a painter, no longer an actress. Her father's tailoring business did well, and the circle of relatives' economic state of affairs improved. They moved to Larchmont, New York, an affluent suburb in Westchester County. The new environment gave Trevor higher educational possibilities and a greater snug life. But it failed to exchange her down-to-earth nature. She stayed the same, a best that would later make her properly liked amongst colleagues and lovers. At Mamaroneck High School, Trevor acted in college plays only for amusing. In 1928, she entered a talking contest and won $15. It wasn't plenty, but it gave her confidence. After graduating, she enrolled at Columbia University to observe portraits. Nevertheless, questioning artwork might be her future, but something changed. The extra time she spent around the humanities, the extra she found out her proper passion wasn't on canvas. It turned into on level. Encouraged by means of pals and mentors who noticed her capacity, Trevor decided to pursue performing. She left Columbia and enrolled at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City. There, she focused on diction and memorization, capabilities that might serve her properly later in her career. But she did not stay lengthily. After 6 months, she determined experience would train her greater than a lecture room should. She left college and joined stock theater groups to study by doing. Her first professional stage roles came in 1929 with Robert Henderson's Repertory Players at the Theater Festival in Ann Arbor, Michigan. She took part in Antigone, performed a position in Lady Windermere's Fan, and achieved in Chekhov's The Seagull. These early performances gave her treasured revel in front of an audience. By 1931, she had moved directly to the Hampton Players in Southampton, Long Island. The pay became just $5 every week, plus room and board. At the cease of the season, the cast split any earnings. It wasn't lots, but she didn't thoughts. She later referred to as this time one of the happiest of her existence. The small theater organization gave her the chance to tackle special roles and examine from fellow actors. Claire Trevor's upward push to stardom commenced on Broadway in 1932 with Whistling Inside the Dark. The play, a comedic thriller, opened on January 19th on the Ethel Barrymore Theater in New York. It turned into a major success, walking for a year earlier than occurring a national excursion. Trevor starred along Edward Arnold, and critics praised her ability to preserve her persona amongst skilled actors. This position no longer only proved her skills, but also set the degree for what became to come back. Before Broadway, Trevor had already spent years education. She finished in stock theater companies and studied at Columbia University and the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. But Whistling in the Dark modified the whole thing. When the play reached Los Angeles, Hollywood scouts took note. Trevor cherished the stage and hesitated to leave it at the back of. But the Great Depression made constant theater work uncertain. In 1933, she signed a 5-year contract with Fox Studios. That choice released a movie career that would last over 7 decades. Her Hollywood debut came speedy. In 1933, she starred in Jimmy and Sally, a pre-code comedy drama produced through Fox Studios. She were added in to replace Sally Eilers. However, she made the role her personal. The movie, directed by James Tinling, accompanied the complicated romance among a self-focused publicist and his committed secretary. Trevor's overall performance stood out for its herbal attraction and emotional intensity. From that moment, her career took off. Between 1933 and 1938, she regarded in 29 films gambling, robust-willed women, or awful girls who had extra depth than they first seemed to. Many of these have been decreased finances B films, however. Trevor always stood out. Her husky voice and expressive performing fashion made her She wasn't simply some other Hollywood newcomer. She'd become a presence on display. Then got here Dead End in 1937. The film, directed by using William Wyler, changed into primarily based on a Broadway play and set within the slums of New York. Trevor played Francie, a girl who had grew to become to prostitution out of desperation. She was on display screen for less than 5 minutes, however. Her performance became devastating. In one of the film's maximum heartbreaking scenes, she reunites with Humphrey Bogart's man or woman, best to be rejected because of what she had emerged as. Audiences felt her ache. Even in such a short time, she made a lasting impact. The overall performance earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Dead End became a turning factor. The movie became a crucial fulfillment, receiving 4 Academy Award nominations, consisting of Best Picture. For Trevor, it changed the whole thing. She was no longer only a dependable performer in B films. She had proven she should deliver award-worth performances, even in a brief, however powerful role. It additionally led to more collaborations with important directors and actors, which includes several movies with Bogart. Trevor's journey to stardom began with Stagecoach in 1939. She played Dallas, a dance corridor woman forged out by means of society, however full of depth and quiet energy. Hollywood had a dependency of portraying women like her in one-dimensional ways, but Trevor gave Dallas dignity. Her overall performance made the man or woman sense actual, no longer just a side observe in John Wayne's story. Their romance in the film added emotional weight, making Stagecoach more than just an action-packed Western. John Ford directed the film, and it modified the style for all time. It turned into gritty, fast-pacing, and visually pudding. Even Orson Welles studied it, watching it over 40 times whilst getting ready for Citizen Kane. Trevor's name appeared above John Wayne's inside the credit, a sign of how a good deal Hollywood already reputable her by using 1939. The film's success launched each their careers, proving Trevor may want to hold her very own as a main girl. While her movie career took off, Trevor located any other way to live in the spotlight. In the late 30s, she became a normal on radio, starring in popular shows like Big Town and The Old Gold Don Amici Show. Radio became a dominant shape of entertainment, and those roles saved her voice in tens of millions of homes. On Big Town, she performed Lorelei Kilbourne, a sharp and decided reporter working in a field dominated by way of men. Her chemistry with Edward G. Robinson made the show one of the most popular dramas of its time. Meanwhile, on the vintage Gold Don Amici Show, she completed in diversifications of performs by using Mark Hellinger, displaying off her dramatic variety. By the 40s, Hollywood became changing. Film noir became at the upward thrust. and Trevor become a perfect match. She had the display presence, the voice, and the capability to play girls who have been each vulnerable and dangerous. In Street of Chance 1942, she performed Ruth Dillon, a femme fatale stuck in an international of crime and deception. It wasn't her most famous role, but it delivered audiences to the facet of her that would outline the next stage of her career. Her breakthrough in noir came with Murder My Sweet in 1944. She played Helen Grail, a glamorous and manipulative lady contrary Dick Powell's Philip Marlowe. The movie, based totally on Raymond Chandler's Farewell My Lovely, became a classic of the style. Trevor's character was beautiful, but ruthless, and she played her with an icy attraction that made her unforgettable. This overall performance earned her the name Queen of Noir, and she, or he, went on to big name in numerous extra crime dramas, each one proving she ought to command the screen with a single look. Then came Key Largo in 1948, the film that gained her an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. Directed by using John Huston and starring Humphrey Bogart and Edward G. Robinson, it changed into one of the defining films of the noir generation. Trevor performed Gay Dawn, a former nightclub singer trapped in an abusive dating with Robinson's gangster Johnny Rocco. One of the maximum powerful scenes inside the film had Rocco forcing Gay to sing Monine Low in alternate for a drink. She tried, however, her voice cracked with desperation. The scene changed into painful to watch, and that turned into exactly the factor. Huston filmed it without rehearsals, to ensure it felt uncooked and actual. Trevor's performance in that moment changed into unforgettable, and it secured her vicinity in Hollywood records. By the time the 50s arrived, Trevor had finished it all.